Hello and welcome to the Social Distancing Podcast. I'll be having chats with everyday people as they find their way through the next few months as we distance ourselves socially from each other. The discussions will detail their day-to-day life, the methods they're using to keep in touch with friends and families, and among other things, what tips and tricks they have for everyone else. Hello and welcome. I'm Nigel. Today is the first in a series of chats I'll be having with everyday people that are dealing with social distancing. This podcast was recorded on the 25th of March 2020. This is 2 days after the Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson, addressed the nation to enforce strict conditions on the public. The measures in place call for non-essential workers to stay at home and reduces the amount of time people spend in public spaces, reinforcing the need for social distancing on a grand scale. Today, I'm chatting with Ben. He discusses working from home, how he's intending to keep his fitness levels up, and telling his boss to shh. Hi there, this is the Social Distancing Podcast. I'm Nigel, and today I'll be interviewing Ben. Hello and welcome, Ben.
Hello, good evening, and remain indoors.
Remain indoors is the message at the moment. It's certainly something that the two of us are getting used to.
Exactly.
You're indoors, Ben.
Yes.
Is this indoors in your own place? Are you on your own? Have you got many people with you?
I'm living in my house at the moment in Nottingham. And Nottingham is unfortunately not quite far enough north to give me a really interesting podcast accent. So I apologise about that.
Don't worry, they've got weeks of listening to me and my interesting middle of the road accent as well.
So I live with my partner, who is also at home at the moment, which is interesting. At the moment, she's kind of been keeping out of the way, to be honest with you. She's been painting the garden, which doesn't involve painting the leaves and the grass. She's been painting some walls a nice cream colour, which, if I'm honest, sounds like she's gone mad already, and it's only been 2 days. And we also have my cat, which is quite confused by the entire situation because she's used to just staying in on her own all day. So I've been stared at by my cat.
You're keeping her nice and awake and presumably with too much attention?
Well, she's noisy. So the other day I was talking to somebody, quite a senior person on the phone, and midway through the conversation, the cat started meowing, and I automatically went shh down the line so it was an awkward conversation to let her know that I wasn't actually shushing her, and it was just the cat. So, but yeah, that's it. Nobody else, just the three of us.
Cool. Well, we'll come back to that in a moment. I just wanted to ask, how many days have you actually been isolating for now?
It's not as simple as it sounds. This is technically day 2, but I kind of isolated all last week apart from Friday when I got fed up and just went into work, which I'd never thought I'd find myself doing just for fun. So I've had a day break in the middle of a week-long isolation.
So you were saying about the shushing somebody from work, a senior person. So does that mean you're actually working from home now?
Yes, I am working from home. I work for a local housing association. I work in the business transformation department, which a lot of that is improvement work and project management, which unfortunately means about 80% of my work is with people, and there are no people at the moment. So I'm having to find ways of helping out and keeping the business running in other ways. But that is filling my days. I've been doing comms, I've been doing IT, I've been doing all sorts of jobs this last few days.
Well, it's interesting to see how businesses are coping, and it looks like you're modifying the way that you're working just to fit in with them at the minute. So commend you on that.
Yeah, well, that's one of the one of my ways of staying sane, to be honest with you. I think that a lot of people are worried now about their jobs, and a lot of people are losing their jobs, unfortunately. And I'm a bit of a control freak, so I think doing my part and helping out in any way I can makes me feel like I've got some control over my own destiny. And also, another interesting way to look at it is there's always an opportunity in chaos, so it's a great time to learn new skills.
I completely agree. And your partner then, is she actually working from home?
Well, she makes cakes, and that's dried up which is actually that's a really bad phrase to use for cakes. The cakes are lovely and moist. The work has dried up, so she's been sent home. She's currently receiving 80% of her. Well, she will be receiving 80% of her wage when the government funding comes through. So all she is doing at the moment is painting the walls in the garden, and it's only a matter of time before I think it's a watch for her friends for the 100th time, I guess.
It never ends, everybody. If you're a Friends fan, you can rewatch it over and over again. I understand. So, entertainment wise for yourself, what are
Yeah,
you doing to keep yourself sane? Because nobody's going out at the minute. So,
I've found that it's quite a good opportunity to pick up on some things that I kind of thought that I did, but when it comes around, you don't really. So, say practicing my guitar. In my head, I play guitar. Reality is, I pick it up once every month. So, I've been playing that on a daily basis now, and lo and behold, I'm actually improving on it. So that's a good way of entertaining myself. Before we were all locked down, we would go bouldering quite a lot. That was one of my hobbies that I would do. So obviously that's not happening at the moment.
of course, with being stuck in the house, you're going to be struggling to get out there and do anything like that now.
Precisely.
Can you can you set the bins up in a certain way that you can climb up and down the bins over and over again?
Close. We've been finding ways of just hanging off of random bars to keep finger strength, or just looking up workouts that have anything to do with bouldering, just to try and keep the fitness levels. Which then that brings me on another one of my big pastimes is just keeping fit, training in all different modalities from strength to bodybuilding to the bouldering stuff. So luckily, there's lots of ways you can do that at home. So that's been keeping me going.
Yeah, I was getting worried for you then because I do know that you're into keeping your body in decent shape.
That's
So
right.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that you're so upbeat about it. Really, 'cause I thought you would be a bit disappointed that you can't get out and do stuff.
Well, I've got an incredibly understanding girlfriend, and when we've lived in this house for about a year, and we made a plan of how to decorate the house. And the first room was the bedroom, so we decorated the bedroom. And then the second room, I said I really want a home gym, so I made myself a home gym, and then I stopped with any involvement in the rest of the house at that point. That was it. I got my own way. So I've got a home gym which has got a power rack and some barbells and some weights. So I'm incredibly lucky at the minute.
Oh yeah, sounds good. I'm gonna say I know a few of the people that I work with that be incredibly jealous with the setup. To be
Well,
fair.
I could start charging gym memberships, I suppose, as long as I stay 2 meters away.
I'm not sure that you can travel for the gym. You might have to put it on a webcam for them and just show them what you're doing.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought though, because I've started actually with work people. We've got a WhatsApp group going that's it's called Lockdown Strength and Fitness. So I'm posting up workouts on there based on the equipment and lack of equipment that they've got at their house at the moment, which is interesting. So
Yeah, I
uh,
guess it's something interesting, something different as well than usual.
yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, if even though I'm lucky enough to have the home gym, that hasn't always been the case. And I'd always take a with my fitness. When I was a kid, I'm going to slightly go off subject here, but we were a pretty poor family, and we never had all of the toys that everybody else had. So you'd have all your Power Rangers and your Teenage Turtles, but what we did have was this massive tub of Lego, and that tub of Lego became everything. So it could be a Power Ranger toy, it could be and that is kind of what I carry over into my fitness routine. So suddenly a bottle of water becomes a dumbbell, or a piece of wood between two chairs becomes a rowing station, and things like that. So you can get a good workout in with just things you've got lying around your house.
Amazing what the childhood ingenuity can do for you. Then
Exactly. And if you've got children, you can even use your toddlers as weights, which is really interesting because you can progressively overload as they grow. So I mean, by the time you're 40 and they're about 20, you should be really strong.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Kind of. Regarding I was going to have a look into entertainment.
Yeah.
You down the road of you're a sports fan. Are you missing any sports, music, or anything like that? Is there anything that's currently missing in the life, or are you managing to?
Well, I'm a wrestling fan, and wrestling being the strange world that it is, it still seems to be going on. It's just going on in front of in an empty arena, which is an interesting watch. So that brings a different type of entertainment at the moment, watching that happen. Um, Beyond that, I tend to just watch a lot of things through Netflix and streaming services. So until everybody crashes the internet, I'm doing all right on that.
Have you noticed the downturn in quality on Netflix? I believe that they've gone from HD down to standard def or something for this period.
Well, as I pointed out earlier, it's only playing Friends, which is pretty grainy now anyway, so I've not really noticed a difference. So I did download Disney Plus yesterday, though, which I'm pretty impressed with. I had an incredible nerd moment when I noticed that not only have they got one section where they've ordered all the Star Wars films in chronological order based on the timeline of the films, but they've also got the same films in release date order. I mean, that somebody actually sat and did that, which I was quite impressed with.
Somebody did. Got to go back to Disney Plus though, because I believe everybody that I spoke to has gone ahead and purchased Disney Plus. They couldn't have looked out more. I
I
mean,
know.
when people are talking about people profiteering from a pandemic, can Disney be put on that for the release date of this?
I think you might be right. Did you think they planned it? So they pulled
They've
it.
just got lucky. They've either got incredibly lucky or they've had a hand in this.
I know it's incredible, isn't it? And there's certain things, there's programs on there as well that they're only releasing in piecemeal, which is quite good, I suppose. It's going to. I'd have binge watched it all by now, so this is going to keep me going for the at least 3 weeks that we're going to be trapped inside.
Well, that's it. 3 weeks currently is the expected time, but a lot of people are expecting that to be considerably longer. So, with a subscription service like that, you actually might
Yeah,
be the plan.
that's fine. So yeah, looking forward to finally watching The Mandalorian in 12 weeks' time.
Okay, yeah. I mean, my plans are currently, if I am going to pick it up, my first watches are going to be through the Toy Story series because,
Wow,
well, it's Toy
Toy
Story.
Toy Story 4 is on there. I've not seen that yet, so no
Oh,
spoilers.
it is a fun one.
Okay, so no
Duke
spoilers.
Kaboom is pretty good fun.
Okay.
So we're talking about the entertainment that's keeping you going through. How are
Yep.
you managing to keep contact with friends and family? You did say you've got little WhatsApp groups going with work colleagues, but
Yeah.
friends and family, are you managing to keep in touch? Or is everybody still keeping the distance at the minute and yet to sort of form groups?
I've basically been using WhatsApp for everything. So I've got tons of groups going on there. So I've got friends and family groups, just friends, family groups. My sister, she's been she was sort of showing symptoms of the coronavirus about 7 days ago. Don't worry, I've not been near her for about a month, but and so she's been isolated in her bedroom for about 2 weeks now. So we've just been going backwards and forwards. Over WhatsApp. Beyond that, not really anything else. I'm not really a big talker on the phone.
No, it's fine. Everybody's different, and I'm certainly not seeing mass amount of people swamping towards groups at the minute. But then again, as we stand, we're on day two for most people, so I'm
Yep.
guessing people are still distracting themselves with other things.
I bet they've got a backlog of things that at the moment it's going to feel like a couple of days annual leave for a lot of people, but we'll see what it's like in about 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, that's the joy of this podcast. I think in a few weeks' time we'll have a look and see how people are faring.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
May even ask yourself to come back on and give us an update. See if your partner's still painting the garden, whether she's changed the color, or
Yeah,
maybe she will have gone to painting the leaves by that point.
maybe she would, and I might have developed that northern accent.
Yeah, we could have that. Could have that accent. Other than that, just going to say, what is there anything in particular that's keeping you happy, keeping you going through this period? Any music, videos, or anything, anything at all that's keeping you sort of plodding along?
I would say happy is a bit of a strong word. Probably keeping me sane is closer to it. I think it's trying to keep a bit of normal is for me. So, and this is good advice for anybody who's struggling. As I spoke about earlier, my exercising and having the facilities here to actually work out is great if you use them. And what I've been finding is being trapped in all day, you completely lose any concept of time, what day it is. It's so what I've been trying to do, which I've found helped, is kind of put a false routine in. So ordinarily, I would come home from work at 4 o'clock, walk in, feed the cat, then go straight into the gym. What I've been doing is finishing at 4 o'clock, turning my laptop on, going outside, just having 5 minutes fresh air in the garden, coming back in, feeding the cat, and it gives me that sort of false feeling of coming home, which is quite useful.
I was getting concerned then that you were going to turn around and say you sat in the car for half an hour, honked your
Yeah.
horn a few times at people that cut you up because
That was right.
you were getting it was too quick, too soon to be at home. So no, at least you said gone outside of the garden.
Exactly. Yeah, it was the garden. I was very. Yeah, it's not. I'm not. I'm staying out the way of people, so it's fine. Don't worry. No calling the police.
No. I meant just sitting in the car on the driveway, not even doing anything by that.
Yeah. Another thing that I've found really helpful is that I just keep thinking to myself, do you know what? This might with not going shopping and avoiding the shops as much as I possibly can, I might finally be able to get rid of that belly. So that's been keeping me going.
Oh, you know what? It's a challenge for us all, especially while we're locked in the house.
Oh, exactly. You try it if you've got a cupboard full of dry lentils, which I have. I'm not a vegetarian. I just only seem to have lentils in the cupboard, so that's my diet for the next month.
It's the I'm a celebrity, get me out of here diet of rice and beans.
Yeah. Well, I'd eat the leaves outside, but they've all got paint on them.
Oh yeah, of course we have. Yeah. So I'm going to come on to another issue here
Yeah.
that we've had through this country, and we've had the issue of panic buying. So the big note that we had probably a little bit more than a week ago was everybody struggling to get hold of any toilet roll.
Oh,
Is
the toilet
toilet
roll.
roll still an issue, or are we past that as a nation now?
As a nation, I'm not sure, but I can talk very selfishly in that it was starting to become an issue, and I was looking at what everybody else saw as 6 kitchen rolls. I saw as 12 toilet rolls. So I was having a good look at them, and I was thinking they're the next. After this last toilet roll, we're on to the kitchen roll, and then I was in the mecca of Nottingham, which is B&M Bargains, and as I turned the corner, I saw a sort of a light glow in the eye in the aisle, and there they were. It was like Indiana Jones and Fortune and Glory Kid. They were all there, piled up. So I grabbed 2 packs of 18 toilet rolls. So I think I've got enough to keep me going now.
I think you have. I think I'm on 15 at the minute, so I might be I might be struggling before long. But I think the stores are getting themselves sorted now.
Yeah, I hope they are. I've avoided shops since I went shopping last week sometime, and I thought I know what I'll do, and it was stupid. I knew what was going to happen, but a little voice in my head still thought I was being smarter than everybody else. I thought I'll get there at 7, and it was packed. There was about 60 deep at which was a bit strange because the woman in front of me had one of the big deep trolleys that only rich people can have. I have the little ones that can't get a kid in it. It was one of those big deep ones, and it was completely full, overpiling with cheap frozen KFC chicken and pallets of Pepsi. And I thought, you need to worry less about the diet, the virus, and more about the diet. I think that's that's not going to last.
Are we in a situation now that the virus is actually going to kill people off because they're eating so badly? I've never even considered that.
Do you know what? I think it could be an issue. I suppose it leaves more dried lentils for the rest of us.
Well, there is that. I mean, it's extreme social distancing, but
Yeah, there is a. Well, I couldn't see her over the top of all of the chickens, so I suppose that there was that as well. There was a barrier between us.
oh yeah, a cough screen. So that's not so bad. Other than that, I mean, is there anything else that you've seen while we've been isolated, while we've been distancing from each other that shocks and surprises you?
Um, I think at first I was pretty down on people. I thought that I had an entire rant prepared for talking to you about not being an arse and just looking after people, but I've started to see sort of turnarounds and there's lots of people who are volunteering to work for the NHS, and there's lots of things going on. Whereas actually, I think as bad time as it is at the moment, and it's probably the strangest things that any of us have been through in our lifetimes. I've never been through anything where the reaction has been this extreme. But it's an opportunity for us to stop just thinking about ourselves, and I think people are starting to realize that. I think people are starting to become less selfish. So hopefully, when we're all back to normal, that carries on.
Sounds good, man. I tell you, I wasn't expecting you to say that. I thought you were going to come up with all the nonsense of some of the people up and down the country. But yeah, it is looking. It is clearly looking like like people are banding together and are doing things for each other now, which is absolutely a positive thing. And let's hope it continues, really.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things now. I just don't want to focus on the negative. There's a lot of people doing silly things. I mean, yesterday an ice cream van was driving around, and I thought, is that essential? Is an ice cream van essential? But I sort of chose to focus on the positives.
I think it's one of those things where everybody's learning, everybody's trying to figure out the situation. I think
Yeah,
some people are panicked, some people are certainly in poorer situations than ourselves, and we've got to remember that at times that we currently don't have symptoms, or we don't believe that we have the virus, but
yeah,
we are social distancing for the
yes.
benefit of everybody else.
That's right, and essentially everybody who sticks to the rules and does that is actually saving people's lives. So it's a good thing to think of.
Absolutely. And coming to my final point, really, this is one that I'm going to be asking everybody.
Yeah,
We don't know how long we're going to be stuck in our houses. We don't know how long that this lockdown is going to persist for us. But what is the thing that you're looking to do the most when this is over?
when it gets okay. Well, on Monday, a little memory stick came through for the little. I've got one of those little mini Sega Mega Drives, and on it had 800 games, and that came through on Monday night. And I needed to take it somewhere to get it to have something done to it first, to my brother's house, just as we got locked down. So now it's sat there staring at me the whole time. It's just looking at me, and I can't use it. But so that's going to be quite good. But that's a joke, to be honest with you. I mean,
You never know.
in,
There's simple things sometimes that you just simply can't get access to. It's going to be like that for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think for me, honestly, it's just feeling normal. Everything going back to normal. I never thought you'd miss all of the Brexit conversations, but that's been put on the back burner. Or you're just being able to just go to work. I'm sure the novelty of being able to go to work will wear off after several days of going to work, and I'll forget all about this conversation. So,
Yeah, no worries. We've got it on record now that Ben's looking forward to going back to work because he
looking
loves it
forward to
so
going back.
much. Well, I've got to thank you for your time today, Ben. It's been nice talking to you.
It's been great.
Hopefully, everything's going to go well through the next few weeks, and I'm hoping that your partner going to stay sane and that the two of you are going to be able to get through the period quite happily, and
Yeah.
that belly does come down a little bit for you.
I do as well. So thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and I hope you stay safe.
I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to the podcast. If you'd like to keep up with what's happening, then follow us on Twitter at TheSDpod. And any questions you have for the podcast, please send these to TheSDpod@gmail.com. Take care.